So I thought I'd introduce you guys to the chaos that happens on a daily basis, usually when I'm trying to pour. So these are about 4 out of the 8 chickens that we have. That would be Odie. That's Joey. And then the sheep are kind of everywhere. So just thought I'd show you guys what all the commotion is when I'm trying to paint. Okay, here's some more of the problem, the loudmouths. That's Maddie. And that's one of her babies in front of the four-wheeler. And then I'll show you Lips and her baby Ruckus. So that's Lips. This little fella is Ruckus. All of our lambs are for sale except for him because he's more like a dog than anything. So we're keeping him. Weren't going to keep any pets, but I'm a softie. Oh, there's the alpaca and the chickens on our picnic table. Anyway, guys, thought I'd show you what the commotion usually is when I'm trying to paint. No, there's some more sheep back there. Looks like Heidi. Heidi and a couple babies. Anyway, folks, back to painting. Hi guys, Wendy from Fingersticks Gallery again. So yesterday I did a video. I tried to do another cloud pour with the DecoArt satin enamel, and I'll show you that really quick. It is still very much wet, so this sucker is still drying, but I'm not super happy with the cloud effect. So I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. I'm going to do something different. But these colors are really cool, except for that little muddy spot. I'm just thinking it was maybe the pouring medium. I'm not entirely sure how that got all muddy, but I'm going to change it up and see if it works. So around the edge of the blue, it did kind of do the billowing a little bit, but not as much as I wanted. So the other one turned out really great. This is the one I did previous. So this one was really pretty. Love the cloud effect in this area. So I do want to say thank you everybody again for all the kind words. It really helps a lot because my focus is to help beginners gain their confidence and just jump in and try it and not be afraid. So you guys rock and I love you. Okay, so we're doing purple. This is kind of a hot mess in the background just because I didn't want to use white to prep the canvas because I didn't want the white bubbles coming up. So I just prepped it with my colors that I'm going to be using. Now, we are going to do, this is something that I've changed. So the DecoArt satin enamel, I have added to every color but 2. So that means 3 have the DecoArt satin enamel at a rate of, I don't know, I probably did 20-25% versus the paint and pouring medium. So the only 2 colors that I didn't add this to are the copper. We're going to do the copper from Folk Art. Show you. This is the antique copper. We're going to do that guy. And then this is just a mix of a couple different kinds of purple and a little bit of black to make it dark because I want to have the dark in the center. I think I like that a lot. Those are the only 2 colors that do not have the satin enamel in there. The other colors, this is just it's barely cream. So I just added a touch of yellow and a little tiny bit of brown. Ooh, big paint booger. And the DecoArt satin enamel. Now I thinned it up a little bit too. This is another thing that I'm doing. Same colors on the background, so they don't have the white, which on the blue it looked kind of like stars. I'm also adding more of the satin enamel to more of the paint. I've thinned it quite a bit. It makes a little hill, but it dissipates pretty quickly. So I've thinned it quite a bit. I'm also doing a much smaller canvas because my little measuring cup is only a 1-cup measuring cup. And so I think because it was so much thicker before, it just didn't have enough, I guess, liquidity to branch out and maybe make those billows. So few things are a lot different. More DecoArt, color on the background, smaller canvas, liquidy paint. So this one, I really like this color. It's kind of a, well, I added a couple different kinds of purple just because my bottles were almost empty. A little bit of black and the satin enamel. So between the white of the enamel paint and the black made a gray with the purple. And it's kind of a a dusty purple. It's really pretty. So if you can see, if I can show you the consistency, it's quite a bit more watered down than what I normally do. Okay, so my pouring medium in my last video, I'm such a bonehead. I ran out of Floetrol. I can't believe it. So my pouring medium today is also a little bit different. I added probably, I'm just going to guesstimate, okay? It's going to be half Elmer's School Glue. Well, it's not really going to be because I added water. And then I took the Floetrol, my poor empty Floetrol bottle. I did manage to get about a 1/4 cup. I let it set overnight upside down, added some water to it, shook it up, and then poured it into the cup. So it has, I don't know, maybe 40% Elmer's School Glue, 40% Floetrol, 20% water, and that's just a guess. So, and then I can't really tell you the ratios that I'm using for the paint, just because it's such a weird pouring medium. So maybe, I don't know, it's probably 60% pouring medium to 40% paint, and that's just a guess. So just enough pouring medium to make this consistency. So, oh, another thing that I'm also going to do is I'm not going to make as many layers, because I think that between maybe the color shift that I did previously, the weird pouring medium that I used yesterday, and so many layers, we're going to do just a couple layers each of the colors. We're not going to go layer crazy today. So on the back of this canvas, I also spritzed some water, which I normally do on the back of my larger canvases. The 8x10s I don't, but the larger ones, I just soak it with water, don't let it dry, rub it around a little bit or spray it with a squirt bottle so it tightens it up a little bit so it doesn't sag. Alrighty. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? That is not what I was going to do. I'm going to wipe him out really quick because I was going to do the dark color. So again, this is just another experiment that I like to show you guys because I don't pour perfect every time. Good gosh, no. Heck no. I got really lucky on that last pink one that I did, I think, because that was my very first time doing it with the satin enamel. So my guess is it was just beginner's luck. It's kind of like trying a new recipe for the first time. You try a new recipe, everything is great, and the second time you try it, by golly, it doesn't turn out. I think that's what was going on. Okay. So yeah, we're going to make these layers quite a bit bigger, considering as well, this is a little bit watered down more than normal. I definitely want to make the bigger or more thick layers because I don't want them to mix together a whole lot. Sure love that copper though. I actually might do 2 canvases because I can tell already I'm going to have just a freaking ton of paint all over this bad boy. So we're going to do 2 canvases with this. You know what? I'm just going to finish him off. And I'm reusing some of these cups. So when this is white, it has the blue and the green around the outside. It's just because I'm reusing the cups. I washed them out. We're just going to add all the rest of the paint because I really don't want to waste anything. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to do a twofer for you guys today. So, if you happen to pour too much paint, which I'm really bad. I think I've addressed this in a previous video that I'm terrible about too much paint. I do not measure for a couple different reasons because I don't think I'm patient enough to sit there and measure everything. But another reason is because I experiment so much with different consistencies, different kinds of paint, different pouring mediums. So it's a little bit different every time. Okay, just prepping my other canvas. I just put thumbtacks in the back. And I don't have my spray bottle with me because I mixed some tick repellent in my water spray bottle because we have ticks. So just spread it around a little bit and let it sit, just as long as there's not really puddles laying on your canvas. So it'll soak in and make that canvas super tight. Alrighty. And here we go. And I'm going to hold it close to the canvas and I'm just going to let it pour and do its own thing. I'm not going to move the cup around. And this still is not the best cup because the spout is just, I don't think it's long enough. Now it's doing some funky stuff right there. Okay, since I wonder if this is going to come and bite me in the butt. No, I'm not going to do it. I lied. Okay. So I like, a lot of the times, I like to use more rose gold when I do purple, but I thought the copper in the purple would look kind of neat. And it's rolling over on itself, so I am going to do what I wasn't going to do and add a little bit of white around the edges. This is a mix of the satin enamel paint. So I'm just going to add it just to help it flow a little bit better because I don't want to lose all those rings because they're rolling over. There we go. And I don't necessarily want to lose all of those. Tipping's hard. So I think what I'm going to do is just run it around the edges and then worry about the corners because I really don't want to lose some of those really cool looking rings that we have around the outside. Boy, that's going to be coppery. And of course I dripped right in the middle, so he's going to look kind of ugly. Okay, so the thicker purple paint, mostly on this corner over here, is doing his job, making it flow a little bit better. So we're going to do the corner. So yeah, this is really, really coppery. I'm not super happy with it because I did make those big, wide... Oh, he's not working. I did make those big, wide pores, or the layers. Okay, so we're gonna do the my upper right hand corner. So if you're looking at it, it'd be the left hand corner for you guys, because I want to try to tip some of the copper that's on your right. So it'll be your lower right. I want to tip some of the copper off. I want to leave a lot of this on there. So granted, once I torch it, it'll bring up some other colors too. But man, oh man, that copper just went freaking crazy. Okay. I'm not gonna leave it. I'm gonna tip him back a little bit. Okay, so I'm not seeing really any billowing yet. Hopefully it will, because I put a lot of thought into this darn mix. So if it doesn't start billowing, I'm going to do a little bit of research and some homework as to why I'm not getting the billows that I like. But I'm going to torch it here in just a second. Okay, yeah, I am not seeing, it's not having the reaction. I'm kind of at a loss at this point. I'm not really entirely sure why I'm not getting the effect. Maybe it's the metallic, I'm going to guess, because metallics, they can be a little persnickety. So, you get a bag ready here. Okay, so I'm going to take this fella away. It does look kind of neat though. I mean, it has a little feathering, but it does not have the billow. Okay, and then for this guy, normally I put tape around the edges of the canvas so it's clean, but not this time. All right, this one I am going to prep with the white. So I'll just do it really quickly for the sake of getting the show on the road for you. But again, this one, it's about 50% satin enamel to 50% just my regular white with pouring medium. So this is a little bit quicker and a little bit dirtier and sloppier than I normally do. So just trying to give you the rundown and fast forward, really. I feel, paint booger right there. Okay. This one I might just do, man, darn that copper. I'm glad he's coming out first, to be honest. I'm going to make nice big rings with him. And it is muddying up a little bit. I think it's because definitely it's a lot thinner mix. Oh, maybe I'm going to use my sticks. That's a good idea. I have a couple of these big sticks, and I don't necessarily, this one's better, I don't want to lose a lot of the paint off the edges. There we go. Tip it back. And I do want the color to cover the edges, but I don't want to lose all of those rings right off the bat. I just thought of something. This reminds me, there's a marble game that I played quite a bit when I was a little kid. I don't know the name of it, but it's a little plastic, I don't know, maybe we got it out of a Cracker Jack box or something. But it's a sealed plastic box, clear top, has little pegs and stuff on the inside with one little marble. Well, the base of it has holes in it, and so you have to maneuver it through this maze, maneuver the marble through the maze without dropping into the hole until you get to the very end. So that's kind of what this reminds me of when I'm tipping back and forth and you're trying to do it one way or another. Absolutely reminds me of that game. So this is absolutely more of a ring pour. The first one I did had a lot of really cool personality. This one doesn't. This is almost like, I don't know, it's almost hypnotic. Oh, it's so weird how paint reacts and how paint does some really strange things. So I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gradually kind of tipping forward and backward, forward and backward. So it's actually making the zigzags on this side, which I think is kind of neat because I'm trying to break up that darn perfect round look. It's actually kind of neat. So it just goes to show you, I'll bring you down for a close-up, but it just goes to show you the exact same paint in your cup can do some pretty awesome things. So, all right, folks, let me wipe my hands off and I will bring you in for a close-up. Goodness, I got a ton of paint on me that time. Okay. So here's this one, and I actually should torch this. I'm going to torch it when you're up close and personal. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. So you see all those white spots it just brought up? That is the white that's in the very background. I could tell that it's really super white. It's not that creamy color, which is fine. I don't mind it. Breaks it up. And then the other one here. This is the one that we just did. So I'm trying to get the light out of the way for you. But yeah, they are totally different. Pretty much the same technique. I didn't go around in a circle on this one, but anyway, yeah, they're completely different. Same paints in the same cups. So anyway, folks, I'm still working on getting the billowing effect. I want to do it the same way I did this one. I can't quite figure it out. I've done several. I cannot get the same look. So that was my very first one. Anyway, guys, I'm going to keep trying as well as you guys should. Keep the comments coming, whether they're it's a criticism, a compliment, whatever it is. Comment below. Let me know what you want to see. And until next time, hope everybody has a great week.